Your body relies on your heart, so it is only fair that you take care of it. Every 37 seconds, someone in the United States loses their life as a result of cardiovascular disease. Did you know that coronary heart disease is the #1 cause of death in the United States? Your heart's well-being should be a top priority. Knowing which foods to avoid or limit may save your life, as studies have shown that doing so can prevent arterial plaque buildup. Plaque buildup causes clogged arteries, which reduces blood flow to tissues and organs. It is now widely accepted that avoiding junk food is critical to maintaining a healthy heart. But it is not that simple. There are times when nothing but ice cream or greasy pizza will do. In today's video, we'll go over 7 foods that are bad for your heart's health. Let's start. When it comes to heart health, pizza ranks at the bottom. Do not get me wrong though. A healthy pizza is entirely possible. The kind you're used to eating, though, doesn't exactly scream clean living, and I'll go out on a limb and suggest that they're wrong. There are shockingly high levels of fat, sodium, and calories in most takeout pizzas. Excessive pizza eating has been associated with increased body fat, hypertension, and abnormal lipid profiles. The result is an elevated chance of developing cardiovascular disease. Consider that a slice of cheese pizza can have about 240 calories on average. In addition, it often contains over 20% of the saturated fats and sodium required for the day. Furthermore, this identical slice can account for as much as 10% of your daily carbohydrate intake. Studies show that 1/3 of people who eat pizza do so at least once a week. Only around 1 in 10 people limit themselves to 1 slice once a week. The average American consumes 6,000 slices of pizza in a lifetime. Your risk of dying from heart disease will increase because pizza isn't exactly known for its nutritional value. Choose a healthier pizza option to reduce your risk while still satisfying your pizza cravings. Next time, I want you to give thin crust a shot. Perhaps you could request a little less cheese. Substitute vegetables for the meats if you choose. Make sure you're not eating as much of the greasy, cheesy variety if you insist on sticking with it. Soda and other sugary drinks have become commonplace in the American diet. It's something most people use on a daily basis. However, you shouldn't be doing that because sugary drinks are terrible for your health. Researchers found that women who drank 1 or more sugary drinks a day were more likely to get heart disease, have a stroke, or need a procedure to unblock their heart's arteries. Those who consume even one of these sugary drinks daily are about 20% more likely to develop cardiovascular disease than those who consume no such drinks at all. Experts have linked sugary drinks to an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. For instance, consuming them can boost blood sugar and insulin levels, both of which have been linked to increased appetite, weight gain, and obesity. Most sodas are sweetened with high amounts of sugar, increasing your risk of diabetes and heart disease. High blood sugar levels can also cause inflammation, insulin resistance, high cholesterol, and diabetes, all of which can damage and narrow blood vessels. Diet soda may help in the short term, but it can never be relied on as a long-term fix. Artificial sweeteners are used in diet sodas. There is mounting evidence that using artificial sweeteners regularly is bad for your health. They can raise blood sugar and disturb your stomach. Want a more viable substitute? Consider switching to low-sugar water-based drinks or carbonated water. Or how about all-natural options like coconut water? It's a terrific choice that has positive effects on your body. You owe it to your heart to do this. Consuming large quantities of fried chicken is not good for your heart. It is packed with all the unhealthy ingredients that you should avoid if you care about your heart. In our lifetimes, most of us have downed a whole bucket of fried chicken. You probably already know what makes it so detrimental to your health if you fall into this category. Perhaps after eating it, you felt like complete and utter rubbish. You'll get 22% of your daily cholesterol and 13% of your saturated fats from just one serving of fried chicken. Be wary of trans fats if you plan on eating fried chicken while dining out. These are the unsaturated fats formed when certain foods are cooked. Trans fats raise LDL cholesterol while lowering HDL cholesterol. Regular consumers of fried chicken are therefore at a higher risk of developing cardiovascular disease. If you're craving fried chicken or other fried dishes, but want to avoid the artery clogging oils and inflammation that come with them, baking is a terrific option. Baking is a time-efficient and simple option with a similar flavor. Healthy alternatives to deep frying include air frying and oven roasting, both of which maintain the fried food's flavor profile while requiring much less oil. Another option that keeps you healthy and allows you to experiment with new flavors is sautéing. Last but not least, using spices and herbs is a surefire way to ensure delicious results from any cooking technique. These methods offer a great compromise between satisfying hunger and eating healthily. Drinking whole milk and eating cheese can be very bad for your health. Consuming an excessive amount of these items has been linked to blocked arteries, which in turn increases the risk of cardiovascular disease and stroke, two of the leading causes of mortality worldwide. That's why, before going back to your regular diet, you need to know how much milk and cheese you can safely consume daily. Limiting dairy to no more than 2 servings per day is recommended by health experts, who advise substituting soy milk or almond milk instead. Maintaining physical fitness and a healthy lifestyle requires a commitment to making nutritious food choices on a regular basis. Cutting back on whole milk and other high-fat dairy products is a terrific strategy to boost health. One great strategy is cutting down on serving sizes. For example, as an alternative to consuming 1 cup of yogurt every day, choose a smaller, more convenient serving size. Also, go for skim milk or Greek yogurt, which are both protein-rich dairy alternatives with a lot less fat. Soy, coconut, oat, and almond milks are just as tasty as their dairy counterparts, but they don't have the same amount of saturated fat and cholesterol. Goat cheese prepared with low-fat milk is a delightful alternative to full-fat cheese that can help reduce calorie intake without sacrificing flavor. Canned soup, as surprising as it may sound, is bad for your heart, regardless of how many vegetables are included. The reason for this is the high sodium content of canned soup. Over 1,600 milligrams of sodium can be found in just 1 can of cream of chicken soup, over 70% of your recommended daily allowance. The 200 calories in this soup mean that it probably will not fill you up if you eat it for lunch. Because of this, you will probably start eating more. Consuming an excessive amount of sodium raises blood pressure risks. As a result, your heart has to work harder, which increases your risk of cardiovascular problems. If you are going to be making soup, go for the low sodium variety. Alternatively, you may try making some homemade soup with low sodium broth. Canned vegetables and soups are convenient for those times when time is short or when you simply don't feel like cooking. They can be used much more quickly and easily. But what may seem simple and straightforward now may end up costing you dearly in the long run. Since canned soups and vegetables have a lot of sodium, this can directly cause high blood pressure. This could reduce the amount of oxygen that gets to your heart. Even a heart attack is possible under these conditions. Those artificial preservatives are bad for you too. Consuming an excessive amount of artificial preservatives can weaken cardiac muscle. So it is best to avoid these commercial canned soups altogether. Whether we're feeling joyful, sad, or anxious, we typically reach for a tub of our go-to ice cream. I wouldn't even mind being stuck behind an ice cream truck. Unfortunately, ice cream can be extremely bad for the heart. It should come as no surprise that ice creams are unhealthy due to their high fat and sugar content. The milk fat in ice cream is where the fat comes from. Milk's high saturated fat content contributes to an increase in blood cholesterol levels. Regular ice cream consumption could be extremely harmful for someone with pre-existing hypertension. High levels of cholesterol are dangerous because they build up in the arteries and make them stiff. The blood supply is diminished as a result. A heart attack occurs when the heart's blood supply is cut off. And if that weren't awful enough, ice cream's high sugar content also has negative effects on health. It's a known diabetes risk factor. But who says you have to stop eating ice cream for good? If you eat less, you will be healthier. Even better, you can make your own at home using all natural ingredients like mango, banana, and dates. Many different kinds of foods contain butter. Butter may be found in practically everything you consume, from bread to meat, from cooked veggies to sauces, from pasta to pastries. Butter's high levels of saturated fat, however, can cause clogged arteries and unhealthy cholesterol levels if eaten in excess. Consuming butter should be done with caution. Butter may taste great, but it's important to be aware of the dangers it poses to your health so that you can stay in tip-top shape no matter what life throws at you. There are several alternatives to butter that are lower in calories and fat that you can use if you're trying to cut back on your butter intake. One solution is to use a dairy spread that is lower in saturated fat. Vegan margarines, such as those derived from nuts and seeds, or even plants like olive oil, are designed to be used in place of animal products in cooking. Many bakers swear by the use of bananas when making cakes, muffins, and other sweet goodies, and they can be substituted for melted butter in any recipe. If all else fails, you can minimize your consumption of saturated fat by using extra virgin olive oil in place of half of the butter called for in the recipe. Finding what works best for you is a matter of doing some experimenting and also being creative. The addition of red meat to any meal elevates the meal to a feast. Red meats are wonderful, but eating too much of them is unhealthy. You should give this some serious consideration before eating your favorite steak again. Consuming red meat such as beef, pork, or lamb raises your chances of developing cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and bowel cancer. Researchers found that chemicals produced by gut microbes in response to eating red meat, such as beef, pork, bison, venison, may help explain why red meat consumption is associated with an increased risk of cardiovascular disease. But why, you may ask? Even though red meat has a lot of healthy nutrients like protein and vitamins, it also has a lot of unhealthy fat, and especially if it's deli meat. A large amount of saturated fat is bad for your heart because it increases your cholesterol levels. Red meat has a nutritional byproduct that is created after digestion. This substance is extremely harmful to the cardiovascular system and has been linked to cancer. Heart disease strikes early among regular consumers of red meat. Our hectic schedules have led us to rely heavily on prepackaged dinners. These pre-made dinners are a lifesaver for any occasion, whether it's movie night or a sleepover. We are more likely to give in to the appeal of a frozen meal because they are so easy to make. Their widespread acceptance can be attributed to their accessibility and convenience. But are you aware of how they affect your well-being? Sodium chemical preservatives and trans fats are all found in frozen meals. This is done so that the food will taste better and last longer. Health experts say that you should not eat more than 2,000 milligrams of sodium every day. And it may come as a shock to learn that a single frozen meal provides more than half of that amount. High amounts of sodium intake are bad for your heart as they increase your blood pressure by pulling more water into the bloodstream. High blood pressure is a silent killer that can cause many heart problems. In most cases, coronary artery disease, heart failure, a stroke, or even death are the first noticeable effects of arterial plaque buildup. Baked goods taste great, but your love of muffins, macaroons, and donuts can severely compromise your health. Even if pies are your neighborhood baker's specialty, you shouldn't be eating them on a regular basis. Trans fats found in baked goods have been shown to disrupt normal heart function. The rapid shutdown of heart functions can occur if baked products are a regular part of your diet. Several studies have also found a link between commercial baked goods and depression. In addition to raising your risk of diabetes and heart disease, the abundance of sugar in baked goods can wreak havoc on your body's heart functions. Potato chips are a classic snack that never goes out of style. Unfortunately, experts caution that eating them on a regular basis in large quantities can cause a variety of health problems, including weight gain. It has been found that they may potentially contribute to arterial plaque buildup. Traditional potato chips are deep-fried in oils that are high in saturated and trans fats and are therefore unhealthy. Clogged arteries are a long-term risk when these fats raise cholesterol levels and encourage plaque formation in the arteries. They contain high levels of sodium, which has its own set of health risks. Trans fats and sodium together can increase the likelihood of arterial plaque formation, which can lead to clogged arteries and cardiovascular illnesses if not prevented. Regular checkups with your doctor are something you should never skip. If caught in time, the risk of blockage can be reduced through exercise and lifestyle changes before serious damage occurs. As we discussed in this video, limiting and avoiding certain foods can help reduce the risk of atherosclerosis and maintain healthy cholesterol levels.